Good afternoon, I hope you're all safe and well, and thank you for joining me this afternoon. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon in the back garden on the rockery to have a closer look at this beautiful brand new for 2020 CollectA 1:40 scale Bajadasaurus. Now Bajadasaurus is a fairly recently discovered dinosaur and is known mainly from cranial and cervical elements, so the rest of the body is based on its close relative Amargasaurus, although the neural spines over the hips are lower. You can see the overall shape of the body is more of a teardrop profile. Now, CollectA, with their Deluxe range, historically used to have a little Arthur Challenger figure attached. This one didn't, so I think this must be a direction that CollectA are going in this year. However, I do have plenty of these lying around, so you can still pop him there and get an idea of the scale of this dinosaur next to a human being. It is very much based on its close relative Amargasaurus, so there might be some inaccuracies here, but overall they've done a very good job of making the sauropod look as lifelike and as realistic as possible. As you can see, the label is a lot simpler and more pared back than they were historically. So, taking a closer look at this figure, they've given it a very long whip-like tail, as Dicraeosaurids did have. Indeed, they probably used this as a weapon. And you can see that lovely row of spines along the back and the beautiful skin textures. The nice textures are not too deep. I mean, they're perhaps a little bit larger than you would expect to see at this scale, but nonetheless it looks very convincing and realistic. And as you get towards the hips, you start to get these little osteoderms scattered across the body as well. It's got these lovely big, strong, muscular thighs. There's no shrink wrap in here at all. You know, everything's just done quite realistically. You can see the quadrifemoralis muscle, this little muscle down the back of the thigh, and the wrinkles in the back of the knee there. You can see the patagia between the limbs and the body pulled taut, with the animals taking a step forward. And therefore there are wrinkles here, which is a very nice realistic touch. Getting back towards the head, you can see these spines for which this dinosaur very rapidly became very famous. Now only one of these is known, but it is inferred that they would go down the neck as its close relative Amargasaurus's spines do. And CollectA have chosen to make these quite sort of ribbed in appearance, somewhat like the horns of an ibex or something like that. And the material this whole figure is made out of is very, very soft, and that's probably something to do with these spines because they are not stuck on separately. They are as one moulded with this dinosaur, and as you can imagine, if this model was a harder material, as you can see the whole head moves, the limbs move. If it was a stiffer material, those spines might not come out of a mould very effectively. However, as you can see, the detail is held by this material every bit as well as any other material. It's a very good choice. So the head is fantastically done here. They've chosen to give it lips. It might be tricky to see it in this light. I haven't chosen to do it outside in the sun, but there is a little tongue in the mouth. See if I can get it to focus. Get the light there. It's a bit difficult to make out. You can maybe just see it there. There's no teeth in there, but at this scale, I mean the head is around about the size of my fingernail. It would be very, very difficult to get that right. As you can see, the eye is beautifully painted there. Perfectly painted, lovely black gloss, gives it some real life. And from the front, get to see the nostrils are on towards the anterior of the face, as they should be, right there. Going back down the other side, you can see there's some lovely musculature in the neck. And again, on this side of the body, the patagia are relaxed because the legs are drawn back and forward respectively. The shape of the feet is spot on for a sauropod in this family. Really, really nicely detailed. In the shape of the gut as well, the contours of the ribs and then down to the gut is very realistic. The sculptor has obviously got a very good grasp of modern animals because the underlying tissues all express themselves outwardly, but there's no sort of sign of any bones or anything sticking through, so it really is a very realistic depiction. Again, some nice wrinkles under the tail here. And of course, as all CollectA dinosaurs, it has the cloacal vent sculpted, and CollectA have picked that out in a darker colour to leave you in absolutely no doubt as to what it actually is. So overall, this is a fantastic little figure. I'm very, very happy with it. The paint scheme it's effective. It's not the most striking paint scheme. The brown is maybe a little bit harsh, and the grey perhaps looks a little bit harsh against the brown. Maybe sort of continued the brown to the head, made it a little darker around the face, but these are all very, very minor nitpicks. It's a very well manufactured figure. There's no seam lines or anything like that. Nicely painted, very few flaws. Really not a lot to complain about. So this is an absolutely delightful figure. Stay well, and I hope to see you in the next video for the next ones.